Good afternoon, I hope you're all well. Hope you've all had a wonderful Christmas. If my voice is a bit strained this morning, unfortunately I've not had the best of Christmases. I'm just getting over flu. It's not man flu, it's been a pretty nasty thing that me and my partner have had, not to worry. I thought I'd just do again, always empty my thoughts on various situations, and whilst I didn't plan really on doing many more videos on Conor Benn until we got a resolution to that situation, I thought the tweets that he put out and the little spat that he had with Jonte Davis, that was a curious one. I wondered if he'd been at Christmas sherry. He's a young man, his career's in trouble right now, and you couldn't blame him. Feeling a bit sorry for himself and having a moment of weakness. And then we saw the tweets where he's effectively hurrying up VADA and the WBC and saying, come on you guys, you're stalling my career, get on with it. I thought that was quite interesting. Initially when I saw that last night, I wondered, I thought, has Conor Benn again been at the Christmas sherry? Is he feeling a little bit low and he's being a bit impatient? Because that's understandable, but what you wouldn't do in any situation like that is you wouldn't make inquiries via a tweet, would you? That's not the way to go about things, Conor. So first of all, what you have to realise is VADA are a testing agency. That's what they do, okay? You are not their priority. You might be your priority. You might be made to feel that you're everybody's priority and you are number one and you are this big rising star and you have a very famous last name, so you're entitled to treatment. But you're not a priority, nor will you be a priority for the WBC. If I was the head of the WBC, people who had failed drugs tests would not be a priority. Mandatory challenges would be my priority. The welfare, the health of boxers would be my priority. Getting champions, defences, keeping the belts moving, keeping title fights moving, that would be my priority. Somebody who had failed, okay, it's the same thing as an adverse finding is a failed drugs test for a banned substance. Somebody who's failed not one, but 2 drugs tests would not be my priority. Certainly not over the festive period when I'd want to be with my friends, my loved ones, and I might even not be at work. And it's the same for VADA. VADA are a anti-doping agency who will be overworked. These people will work long hours every day. You might want to try that at some point. I always get criticised for saying that when I have a pop at anybody who doesn't work full time. It's not having a pop. I'm just making a point that sometimes people who chill all the time and they have very luxury lifestyles, and then they might go to the gym a couple of times here and there just to tick over after fights or in between fights. Yep. They don't understand that everybody else has got full-time jobs and everybody else are busy and they've got lives and they've got families. So Conor Benn, you are not a priority for the WBC. You won't be a priority for VADA. The understanding is that you've submitted, or your lawyers, your legal team have submitted a 270-page document that has been filed and you're awaiting a response. And I understand that you're anxious. I understand you want to get things moving and you want to prove that you're a clean athlete. I understand that. But anybody who works in law or works with documents or contract law or any kind of legal procedure knows these things take time. They take time. It's not that long ago that your guys submitted this, right? So if you think about it from this point of view, I like to have an open mind. Yeah, so this video is not to attack Conor Benn. Conor Benn has been silent for 3 months. We've heard nothing from Conor Benn or Conor Benn's team for 3 months. We've heard a few sound bites from Eddie Hearn because he can't wait to reveal little things, little details. He can't help himself come out with a few bits and bobs and say, well, I'm not allowed to say this, but I can say this. I've probably said too much cougs. We know this is how Eddie rolls. He can't keep his mouth shut. But Conor Benn, for 3 months, your guys have put together a defence for you in terms of your adverse findings. And what you're now expecting is it took your guys 3 months to put this case together, and you want everybody to stop what they're doing, stop spending time with the families and the loved ones and getting some well-deserved rest, put all the other cases to one side, all the mandatories, all the other things that the WBC are trying to bring into boxing, put all of those things to one side and prioritise you, Conor Benn. And I think this, Conor, is where the problem lies. You have a serious self of entitlement. You're a very privileged young man. You are also a good athlete, a talented athlete. No matter what anybody says and gets silly, whilst I don't think you're elite and I don't think you're world class, you are a very talented athlete. You work hard in the gym. I don't think anybody would dispute that. So people can't cross my words and tie my words up. No one's disputing that. But you're also an impatient, entitled young man, and you don't have a great deal of class. That has become very, very clear. Little snippets and little things I've been watching on social media. I don't spend my life looking for these things, by the way. They come up. Metadata throws up a few things. And listen, not everybody's polished. I'm not that polished, okay? Not everybody's articulate. But you're just not coming across well right now. Even if, and this is a big if, you have a really strong case that is heard and you can prove unequivocally that you unknowingly ingested banned substances or there was contamination or whatever you want, even if you can prove that, you are really losing right now the love of the people. Even the people who are Conor Benn fans, even the neutrals, they're not enjoying you right now, Conor. So whoever's advising you to put these tweets out, whoever's telling you to do this, or maybe you're just doing this off your own back, I don't know. It feels like you've been badly advised. You're going to have to be patient. Yeah? You're going to have to be patient like all those Chris Eubank Jr. fans who paid thousands and thousands of pounds and booked flights and transport and travel and hotels and tickets and probably outfits and time off work and all these things to see their fight at Chris Eubank. It wasn't just about you. All those people have to be patient now and have to wait for Chris Eubank's next fight, which is a cracking fight, by the way, against Beefy Smith. So you're going to have to be patient like all those people who were robbed of a big night of boxing. I'm not talking about someone like myself who might have switched on and might not. I'm talking about people who invested time and money and emotion into this. All the undercard fighters, everybody in camp, Chris Eubank's team, everybody's had to be patient, Conor. Now you're going to have to be patient. 3 months you've been quiet. 3 months we've heard nothing from you. You hand over a document like that, which is War and Peace, no doubt intended to blind everybody, apart from the scientists. You can't blind the scientists.
I'm the breakfast boy. And I mean that to any man out there what thinks he can take John Fury. Because I'm the best fighter out there. There's nobody can beat me. Because I'm willing to die and give me life and get 35 years before I lose. I'm an extremely violent man when it comes down to the old fisticuffs, because I'll do anything I can to win. And I call street fighting. It's a dangerous job. And I'm a dangerous dude. I'm a dangerous dude. Unbeaten. Step in my face, hell coming to breakfast, mate, because I know I can fight. And I'm a dangerous mother. Believe me. I'm the real deal, mate. And that goes out to anybody who thinks they can take me today or any other day. It's finished in one way. Them splattered up the floor and the head kicked off.
Because science is pretty binary. But even though you've done that, you're going to have to wait, mate. You're going to have to wait. And you're really not doing yourself any favours right now. You won't see this video, you won't listen to me. Eddie won't watch the video, Eddie doesn't know I am. That's absolutely fine, not a problem. But you are doing yourself no favours, seriously. There's a way to do this and you are really going to become the bad man. Now, I don't know what's gone on with Deontay Davis. I will just touch briefly on that. Davis is an absolute magnificent fighter. He's a magnificent fighter, but often in boxing, and this looks to be the case, and we've known this for years about Davis, he's a street punk. He has no respect for women. He has little regard for people. He's a street punk. This is boxing. These are the kind of characters we get involved in. But he's also a former super featherweight. So I don't know if you're trying to just get a little bit of beef there. I don't know what the reasons are for doing this. Maybe you said some things about you in the past and you thought you needed to respond. That's fine. That's fine. There was a day where boxers had issues and they used to ring each other up and say, well, let's get down the gym and do 6 rounds and do a little spar. But that's no longer the case now, is it? I appreciate I'm a round peg in a square hole, and we live in a world on social media where people just, well, they tweet each other, don't they? This is what the big hard men do. I don't believe Max Schmeling and Joe Lewis, when they had that hugely controversial second fight, were tweeting each other. Naturally, I'm being a little bit tongue-in-cheek there, but I just don't believe certain past fighters would be doing this, but maybe they would. Listen, maybe I'm wrong. Maybe Muhammad Ali would have loved social media. You can imagine Ali on social media, to be honest, can't you? Anyway, I've gone off track again. Sometimes happens. Conor, be patient. Davis, I think, is a punk. I think you are, to be honest, if I'm being completely truthful to myself, but I'm making assumptions. You might be, as everybody says, a lovely guy, a lovely young man. We keep hearing Gareth A. Davis and everybody say, but I really care for Conor. I'm so sad, we just want this cleared up. You don't really, you're just trying to get columns off him. But anyway, again, that is that. Be patient, Conor. We all have to be patient. Some of us have to work 40, 50 a year. We have to be patient, look forward to our pensions and hope that we're well enough and healthy enough to be able to have a good few years. You're in a very good position right now. You're a little bit frustrated. Your career's on hold. But, as you said a few years ago in an interview online, I am responsible for everything I put in my body. I'm a purist. Every single thing that goes in my mouth is monitored. So, you're going to have to pay some kind of punishment. And even if that punishment is the fact that you've been inactive now for quite some time, you've gone through some tough times, that might be our punishment. As I predicted previously, you might get a soft ban or no ban at all. But I think the public, and Chris Eubank Jr., his recent interview, he mentioned this. I'm not a huge Eubank Jr. fan, by the way, but he certainly speaks well. He certainly speaks better than you do. However, he's in a difficult situation. Sorry, he's in a different situation to you. He hasn't failed a test, so maybe the boot was on the other foot. It might be slightly differently. Anyway, Conor, your social media posts, someone needs to take your phone off you, mate. If you're my fighter, and I've done this to a couple of people in the past, give me your fucking phone. I'm going to take that phone off you. And that's what I'll be doing. But hopefully there'll be a resolution. I've gone down that avenue now saying what I think. Anybody who is taking performance-enhancing drugs, I think should be banned for a significant amount of time. Very, very heavily banned. There are grey areas, of course, around this. We know that. But I'll just make one final point. And this is something I feel quite strongly about. If VADA have got this wrong, and I think the fact that you've mentioned internal investigation, you're alluding to that they're having to review their own processes. If VADA have got this wrong, then we need to scrap drug testing, because what we're saying is the gold seal of anti-doping, VADA are the gold seal, Eddie Hearn's words, the standard of anti-doping, not my words, Eddie Hearn's, but generally the consensus is they are number one. If they have got this wrong twice and they have a flawed testing process, we need to get rid of VADA. We need to get rid of WADA for the Olympics. We need to get rid of UKAD and any anti-doping agency. And let people take what they want. Let people do what they want. And then as consumers and followers of boxing, we get to make a decision to say, well, we know that the sport's absolutely dirty. It's a dangerous sport. They've now made it twice as dangerous by, we haven't even got reasonable anti-doping regulators or reasonable anti-doping testing agencies in the sport, so just let people do what they want. So is that where we're at? I certainly won't watch a sport that's approves of drugs, cheats, loaded guns. That's just me. But I think that is what we're actually saying. Unless I'm really missing the point, we're now at a really, and this is why I've followed this situation quite closely, we're in a real deep situation now where we are saying the #1 anti-doping agency in the world is flawed. They are wrong, and they are giving adverse findings out to clean athletes. So what do we have to do? This is a real key moment, which is why I've continually expressed my views on this. I haven't called anybody names. I've just said it as it is, and I think that's why some of you guys like these videos. I hope so. Thank you everybody for liking, subscribing and sharing. Once again, it's my thoughts on the Conor Benn situation, the Conor Benn tweets, and I hope you're all well. I hope you don't get this flu that's going around, and genuinely I wish you all a happy new year. There'll be more videos from me coming up. At some point I'm gonna have to get a backdrop or something and maybe just try and make this a little bit more polished, because I just do this sat in the kitchen. Any noises you've heard in the background is my son on his PC. He's gaming, and I think he's I don't know, he's saving the world or something like that. But you all take care. No hate from me towards Conor. Just, it's that moment, isn't it, where an older, wiser person wants to just say to some young man who's behaving not very well, poorly. And you do this as a coach. This is part of the role as a coach, where you just say, come here, Conor, sit down. Let's have a little chat, mate. Kind of a conversation that my dad used to have with me when he was here, God bless him. And he'd say, you're being a bit of a dick, son. You're being a bit of a dick. It's probably why I was so grounded, because I had a dad and a mum who would call that bad behaviour. They wouldn't have it. So, anyway, you take care. Love you all. See you all soon.
Porky's Corner is proud to be sponsored by Spartan Site Solutions. They are specialists in civil engineering and demolition contracts for the construction industry. Interested parties should visit their website or contact Porky's Corner for a referral at porkycorner@mail.com.